Hey everybody, this is Talkative Carl back again for another movie spoiler review. And today I'll be covering. I had to put in like a slasher on my list of Halloween themed movie reviews. So I'm covering Scream 6 because I never really wanted to go to the theater to go see this movie because I really don't like horror like that. I do like the Scream franchise, but I like the option to fast forward through all the jump scares and all the BS. Call me a chicken if you want to, it's whatever. But I like the idea of the Scream franchise, and that's the key word that we're going to be talking about here in the film franchise, because each Scream movie parallels to real life, you know, titles to certain movie themes here, like dealing with sequels, trilogies, requels, prequels, or not prequels, but like requels uh, uh, and franchise. Uh, of course, I stayed off. I stayed off from watching this until it went on streaming. I watched it on Amazon Prime because I did not want to buy Paramount Plus because I'm not, Paramount Plus and Apple TV and Peacock is the only streaming services I really don't care to like purchase. They don't really hold any weight in my eyes in terms of what I really want to get into. Paramount Plus is closer than the other two because they had Nickelodeon stuff, but they don't really market it or have access to every Nickelodeon classic cartoon on its app like they probably should. There we go. That's I digress. But yeah. And when I saw the trailer to this movie, I was psyched because you got Jenna Ortega involved in this because especially after Wednesday, she's been on a roll. But also, you finally, this is not the first time they taken like the Ghostface killings outside of Woodsboro, because in the second film, I think, both second and third film, they took it outside the city, where it's like one was at a college and the other was in like Hollywood, California, on a movie lot. Not just a movie lot, but it's like, all over California in general. But it's like kind of localized. Here, you actually got like well, not the whole entire New York, but it's around Halloween, and you got like an entire city, and Ghostface has been like so popularized, not only just the movies but real life, that you can get the costume almost anywhere. Which, you think about it, it's like, I want to make a point to it. I think a lot of people pointed out, it's like, it's kind of weird that in movie that you popularize a outfit based off of like a legit killing, a legit killer. I mean, it's like, it's not, I can't recall anybody on Halloween wearing Charles Manson attire. I'm not saying that probably would have been like somebody out there in the world, but very unlikely. Or wearing like an Hitler outfit, unironically wearing it. It's like, you don't, or even like Saddam Hussein kind of stuff, or it's like a certain attire that very rarely, I'm not saying it never would happen, but very rarely somebody will have the gumption to unironically wear a costume, even if it's Halloween. Wearing something like that, it's just like extremely poor taste, and no one wants to be around you. But you got this, you got a threat where you would think, oh, New York, very populated area, How can you pull off a killing when something like Woodsboro, which is very localized and not many ways of access to help, but they found a way. And you'll think something like, something that happened in Hollywood, and you have that same kind of feel to it, but it's like, no, the killer still managed to get away with it. Matter of fact, fun fact, while I'm on the subject with the Hollywood killing, Liv Schreiber, who had the third film was based around Hollywood, but Liv Schreiber, who was there in the second film, didn't think the franchise was gonna carry on or get that popular after the third film, because usually movies ends after a trilogy and they stop. So he just wanted to get killed off, and he kind of got bummed out about it. Now, current day, where things like got franchises and the Scream franchises especially got so big at this point, and he's kind of like, man, I kind of wish I was, sticked around, like been like a legacy character, because like you got Courtney Cox as Gail Weathers, and Sidney Prescott, Neve Campbell, being legacy characters of the franchise. But you also got part of a couple of new legacy characters now, not as long, but they're getting there with I keep one because I only remember her from the TV show Heroes, Claire, but in this you got Kirby. Her name is Kirby Reed. But anyway, I thought I'd bring it up because it's like, wow, this is like amazing how this franchise carried on, and everybody was very intrigued how, like, oh, bring it to New York. That is a cool idea, because you don't want to keep having the same old location all the time. You want to, shake it up a bit. So more than likely, there's gonna be another Scream movie 3-4 years from now, maybe, and it might take it to a whole nother location. Maybe international, like, Scream 7 in London or Japan. So this movie was directed by Matt Bettinelli Open and Tyler Gillette. It stars Melissa Barrera, Sam Carpenter, the illegitimate daughter of Billy Loomis and survivor of the Woodsboro killings in the previous films. Jasmine Savoy Brown as Mindy Meeks Martin, the twin sister of Chad, and both are nieces and nephews of Jamie Kennedy's character, who died in the second film, who was like, because you gotta have somebody who's like Jamie Kennedy's character, who's the knowledge, like, of like movie franchises and or like movie trivia just locked in their brains. And you got to have that person. And Mindy is the person that steps up to this world. And in the previous film, she was fun, but in this one, I don't know, it kind of feels, it might seem awful to say, I'm just gonna say it, it feels very try hard. I don't know, it's just, it's something about what she did last time. It's a little bit more sincere with it. Not like she, because they, of course, the Meeks character has some bit of quirkiness to them, but it's it seems organic quirkiness. Like Jimmy Kennedy's character, he was the movie nerd, and he wasn't over the top with it. I did a review on the first Scream movie, which is up on my channel, and he didn't seem like you might be classifying maybe like, you know, like social anxiety, or like, you know, like well, no, he wasn't like, you know, like antisocial. You know, he got out there, even though he's still like a movie nerd. He went to the parties. He was sociable, but you know, the Billy Loomis and Stu still kind of ragged on him a fair bit, but Mindy seems like, I don't know. I guess this will be the Gen Z interpretation of what Jimmy Kennedy's character would be in current day. I don't know. She kind of feel like she like popped a bunch of Xanax or something. Not Xanax. Xanax supposed to be slowing you down or hype you up. Whichever drug that kind of hypes you up, and that seems like, you know, her character. I don't know. She seems like, you know, maybe she could have just toned it down a bit. In my opinion, it's like, yeah, you can have the knowledge and stuff like that, but it seems like, okay, you just got. It's like when I took acting classes, there's certain people. It's like, you know, like, well, I guess now I remember my lessons. You know, it's better to give like 100% rather than like starting out at 50. But it just seems like it's like, and oh, the weary nerd, you know, try to lull us in a false sense of security because you're a nerd. Oh no, not really. I ain't gonna. It's like, you know, oh, oh, the hot jock. Are you really gonna be the savior, or are you the secret killer? I don't know. It's like all that. It's like, dial it back a bit. You're on the right track, but dial it back just a smidge. It's not like, you know, like I want the Jamie Kennedy, but I don't want the Malibu's Most Wanted version. Okay. Got Jack Champion as Ethan Laundrie, Chad's roommate. Henry Czarny as Christopher Stone, Dr. Christopher Stone, Sam's therapist. Mason Gooding as Chad Meeks Martin, the twin, like I mentioned. Roger L. Jackson plays the voice of Ghostface, the iconic voice. He also done the voice for like Mojo Jojo for the Pop-Up Girls, in case you don't know that. Lena Liberto as Quinn Bailey. Dermot Mulroney as Wayne Bailey, the detective and Quinn's father. Devin Nakoda as Inaka Kyoko, the girlfriend of Mindy. Jenna Ortega as Tara Carpenter, Sam's half-sister. Tony Revolori as Jason Carvey, a film student at the Blackmore University, the college that a lot of these people are attending. Josh Segura, Danny Brackett as Sam, Tara, and Quinn's neighbor and Sam's boyfriend, who it took me like almost like a couple of minutes to like, man, I saw his face before, and it's like I going through all the movies, but I should have been going through all the TV shows, but like it was there. It just took a few voice lines from him to because he got a cadence to him that drew in my memory, because I got to go through the Rolodex of my memory banks. That is the one of the bad guys, or at least the main villain in one of the seasons of, you know, Green Arrow TV show, because he played like one of the bad guys there. So I was like, yeah, God, that's like, God, that was figuratively bothering me. It's like, I seen his freaking face. He just cut his hair, but I seen his face, and because he was also on the She-Hulk show as She-Hulk's best friend. I was like, but I only, you know, but the first thing that comes to mind is Green Arrow, because he was an awesome villain in that. Got Skeet Ulrich as the original Ghostface, Billy Loomis, who appears in visions like he did in the previous film. We'll get more into that soon. And we got Hayden Panettiere as Kerry Reed, who's now an FBI agent, and Courtney Cox as Gale Weathers. More legacy characters. Anyway, it was a year after what happened previously in the 2011 Scream movie, and now Tara and Sam have decided, and Mindy and Chad decided to move in together with a couple of other roommates out to New York, try to get out of Woodsboro and out of the you know, like any potential dangers of any, you know, because like Woodsboro is just birthing, it's the birthplace of the Ghostface killers, but also keep birthing new killers almost every other few years. And they just want to, just like with Sidney Prescott and Gale Weathers, you know, they all just at a certain point just decide to get the hell out of this entire town. It's just like, just going through that one time was bad enough, but after losing so many friends and family and like more, it's just like a focal point for just crazy people. And not everybody is crazy, but just like a lot of people were, love these stab films and the character of Ghostface and the obsession with that. And it's just like, okay, we got to get the hell out of this freaking town. And not many people are too sympathetic to the plight of a lot of people who went through this horrible killings. That, and of course we don't see Sydney here because currently Neve Campbell's medical condition. I don't think she will do much acting anymore, but I'm glad, she was the main one that survived a lot of these killings throughout the years. So now she has like a family. We was lucky to get her in the last film, but now she has like a family, and she moved. I think she's probably out of the country or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember where she moved to. I could have sworn in the last film she moved to New York, but I guess it could have been right. But then I guess it could have just moved once again after the whole ordeal of the previous film. And of course, now that Sam is seeing like a therapist because she's getting trolled and hate from social media about people not believing what happened in the previous film, thinking that she was responsible and she killed a bunch of people and got away with it, even though she killed her attacker, the real Ghostface, which turns out, spoiler alert for the previous film and subsequent previous films, that her boyfriend in Scream 5 turned him and another girl was actually working together in order to do more of the killings and frame her and all this other stuff. So they decided to turns out her mom, kind of, I forget what was the reason specifically, but she pretty much disowned Sam. And because she decided not to be on speaking terms with her sister, uh, Tara decides to not have any contact with the mom altogether herself. So it's just these two sisters. Tara's only grievance is because because like legitimate fear, honestly, that she kind of becomes like a helicopter mom, where she doesn't give Tara her space, where she can't just go to a party while Sam freaking out and monitoring every way she go. Before we get off to that, I think it's, the way the movie begins and where it ends is so unique and creative. I give super props on. Very like trying to make sure you throw you off, because, and we dealing with franchises, the old rules do not apply anymore. You, as a franchise, just like with MCU, you're pretty much almost do anything you want. Like pretty much, long as this carry on. Who knows? Pretty soon, just like with the MCU saga, the Scream franchise will turn from a franchise to a saga in of itself. Who knows? Early in the film, just to lay out the groundwork and get you, mentally prepared with what you're about to see, there's this college professor who's pretty young to be a college professor, honestly. She's waiting on like a Tinder date or something like that. I'm not sure if it was like a Tinder date, but just a date in general. And she's waiting inside this bar restaurant thing, and the guy is supposed to show up was like, oh, this is embarrassing, but I can't find the spot. Can you come outside and tell me if like I'm at the right thing? It's supposed to be like a red roof area. I was like, oh man, it's like I'm not seeing it here. Like and then this idiot woman believes about like, hey, can you go to this alleyway? I think I'm curving this direction, or woo woo. But then she goes down that way. Now, granted, we probably never seen that before, but given this day and age, no sensible woman would, allow some dude, she doesn't know that well like that, to say like, hey, can you go to this alley, help me out, I'm trying to find like this location. Ooh, like stupid. She goes in there and gets killed, and turns out to be the Revelori actor. And so kills this is his professor, kills her, and turns out to be some kind of plan. Him and his roommate, who are huge like Ghostface fanboys. He actually knows Tara. They actually quickly, briefly bumped into each other on his way back, because he dumped all the Ghostface, attire into his backpack. And as he walked down, he bumps into Tara like, hey, are you gonna be at this party? I'll meet you down there. I was like, yeah, I'll see you. Turns out him and his roommate is making a plan on killing Tara and Sam. But he goes back to the apartment and gets a call from his, supposed roommate. But the roommate is using the Ghostface voice. It's like, dude, I told you. I thought we agreed not to use the voice thing on each other. And then it turns out that there's another Ghostface, kills this guy after he finds out that his roommate is chopped up and literally fridged. And it's like, wow. And it's like another Ghostface circumvents and undercuts another Ghostface's plan on doing a killing. I was like, wow, so many layers to that. I was like, a Ghostface stopped another Ghostface, so that Ghostface can do the killing instead. Wow. So Sam in therapy talking with her doctor. Doctor freaks out at the fact that she comes clean about the fact that she was involved in the Woodsboro killings a year ago, and she had to kill her attacker. And he freaks out. It's like, look, I'm sorry, like I'm not equipped to deal with all this. And it's like, you're a therapist. Maybe you're not equipped. Maybe there are certain therapists that only deals with people dealing with like murders or anything like that. But it's like, come on, dude. Like, I'm pretty sure you can do some research or what have you. I'm not sure what the protocol will be, but it seems kind of unprofessional. I mean, like, not like you have no right to, be a little afraid. But I'm pretty sure many therapists have protocols about this if they're dealing with, therapy of people who have to kill in self-defense of another attacker. I'm pretty sure you should have some kind of been taught something like that before. It seems kind of weird for a therapist to behave like that. Not saying that they have no right to be a little afraid, but you should understand the context too, and the fact that she's being choked harshly online. You should be able to help her with that or something like that. So she ends up like quitting the entire thing because it's like, it's supposed to help me, but like you're like the third or fourth therapist, that doesn't want to help me. This is very, very odd. And matter of fact, if you're looking for a therapist, you should make sure also on her part to look for like a therapist, do some extensive research to see if a therapist is trained into dealing with something this extreme, so they can be able to be properly equipped to help you rather than to toss you aside. Even though a therapist who's being sought for help shouldn't be so quick to dismiss her, or at the very least recommend her to somebody. I thought that was very grossly negligent on at least like 99% negligent on the therapist's part, but only 1% negligent on her part, because she should probably had done some research into a therapist who can be properly equipped to handle something as extreme as she's been through. So she finds out from her roommate Quinn that Tara went off to this party, so she go there. It prevents her from sleeping with some drunk idiot, and she gets mad because like as her and her friends all walking down the street and they having this big shouting match about like yeah, ease up. So what if I want to have like a drunken night with some idiot? That's my priority. I want to like allow me to live, and like I can see both sides to this. While I understand Tara's need for space to allow her to make mistakes, grow from it, you can't keep them in such a tight bubble. But you also need to understand, like, from Sam's point of view, that this ain't your typical helicopter parent type of thing where it's like, I'm trying to prevent you from losing your virginity to the wrong person kind of thing because you're a fragile little girl. I'm trying to protect you. That typical BS. She experienced a horrific trauma that carried on way even that she's extensively tied to, because she's the daughter of the original Woodsboro killer. And like you don't see this until like halfway through, but they kind of hinted at a little bit at the end of well, not even the end of it, but it's like you see it more prevalent here and there in the previous film, where she's hallucinating visions of her father. And was that I remarked to that. I don't know if I did like a review on that. Did I? Because I thought it was like so ingenious to have her kind of like just hallucinating that guy. Oh no, I didn't even review like that last film. But but I will eventually cover all the other Scream movies. I'm kind of doing it very out of order. I was previously going to do 2, but it's like I really wanted to see 6 really bad. So I'm making it here now, and it's probably gonna be a very long time before we're gonna get Scream 7, which is probably inevitable at this point. You would think it'll stop after maybe 4 or 5, but man, they just kept on going. It's like, okay, this is going to just probably gonna keep on going. I'm glad it's not every other year, but every, because it's like 2023. The last one was like 2011, so at least give you a good decade, because movies and have changed every 5 to 10 years. So I think it's like a very good idea to, like, you know, give that space between each time. Um uh Sorry, I'm just checking something here. Oh, actually, I mean, no, actually, Screen 5 came out in 2022, like literally a year ago, January 2022. The previous one was Screen 4 that was in 2011. So it's like a little, you know, the gap between the years is like fluctuates, I guess. Anyway, uh, so once they uh uh like I was saying, like, you know, I can see both sides. Like, you know, Sam, you know, went through a horrible ordeal, wants to make sure that the only family she knows is completely safe. uh she keeps close by her, but she had to, you know, allow a bit of wiggle room. But, you know, of course, that's what she's going to therapy for, so she can get past this. Because same way with like Sydney, I'm pretty sure she went through like a fair bit of therapy herself, just to be able to start a new family. But she has to leave you know, part of that life from her home, you know, childhood home far behind, and move on and get past and live her life. But that took some time, which I imagine with Sam's probably gonna be about just as long, if not longer, because she actually related to the original killer. Uh, that's when on the news, and then eventually the detective calls uh, calls Sam after the bodies of those college kids were found, and with Sam's ID on the like school ID among the crime scene. I don't know how they even got that. So they've been called in for questioning. Don't know why they need to question her, given the fact that they're previous victims. But then again, you never know with these kind of things with these movies, because, like, you know, somebody who turns out to be a boyfriend turns out to be the killer, and sometimes somebody seems like a innocent mom turned out to be a killer. You never know. So they have to do their due diligence. I can admit that. But then you see Gail and Kirby show up, you know, trying to like make sure they, you know, come in, stop the, you know, put a stop to this, try to nip it in the bud as quickly as possible, because they've been through it long enough, and of course these two got a pissing match between each other about like oh, an FBI agent. They let 30-year-olds FBI agents now, like you're like so young, and they're like, oh, we like listen to one person with the experience, young lady kind of situation. It's like, oh my god, do we have time for this? So they all trying to be more prepared, because like, okay, you got 3 different generations of Woodsboro survivors, each one with their own unique take on situation, which I think is very cool. And of course, like, we couldn't have Sydney here, but she kind of here in spirit kind of situation, because we're just lucky we got her from the previous film that we did. So we cool that she like got through all this for 5 installments, and it's an amazing run. But you get each one with a unique take on situations, and they all survive, being stabbed or attacked, or having friends, losing friends and family to killers taking up this moniker, and they all trying to band together. Okay, here's how like I handle it here, here's how like I handle it there, and now like Sam has to only been through one situation, and this is Tara's first go around, and it's like, okay, now we got to like band together, handle this. They decide, okay, all the roommates decide, okay, we're going to stick together, even though they couldn't, they're not allowed to get out of the city, because by law, dealing with something like a murder and you're tied to it in some shape or form, you're forbidden to leave the state. That's standard protocol. I mean, I think that's, well, some might call it dumb when it was in Woodsboro, like don't leave town kind of situation, which is standard protocol in any kind of investigation. You can't allow to leave. So you're stuck in a localized area where a killer could be among your friends or family, or tied to your friends or family. So they all stick into the apartment, and they come up with some stupid name, because the twins, Tara and Sam, call them like the 4 teams or the 4 squad, 4 something. It's stupid as hell. Like, I didn't bother to retain that in my memory because it sounds so corny and stupid, trying to do whatever it is that they was doing. But then the boyfriend, who lives in an apartment across the, just literally like across the way, right outside the window to one of their bedrooms, and he sees Quinn getting attacked by the Ghostface killer. They all, Mindy gets cut in the arm. Her girlfriend gets, cut in the stomach. And matter of fact, they don't shy away. It's not like gore porn like the Saw franchise. It's like, I really don't care for those kind of things. It seems grossly unnecessary. But here it's like, no, when they see, which is kind of like, yeah, we're dealing with somebody who stabs people with a knife, who's known for that. They really make a point to show you the level of brutality in the stabbing. Like earlier in the movie, when like the college kid, gets stabbed against like the fridge, he's like, jab, 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 and you see his intestines starting to spill out. And then with I keep wanting to call her Yukio, like from the Deadpool, but no, what's it called? Anika, and she's being pinned to the wall and stabbed in the stomach, and you see him twisting the knife, and it's like, wow, and like brilliantly done insofar as like similar photography. You hold on to that shot just to give that cringiness or skin crawl to the audience. It's like a right balance of allowing you to see what's going on, but not making it grossly overdone. Like you see, like there's something like Tim Burton, you have the blood spraying all over the place like a blood fountain. You don't need all that. It's like that's overkill, pardon the pun. But she's, she still hangs on, but she's like desperately like a hospital. Quinn's boyfriend turns out, is dead in a freaking bathroom, while everybody's like, barricading the doorway as the boyfriend, Danny, is getting his ladder and having to reach across the way to the other apartment so they can just one at a time crawl all over to the other side for safety. Anika didn't make it, and she fell to her death while they're trying to escape from the killer. And of course, also that the detectives like upset because he's already dealing with the fact that he had like he lost a son previously years ago, and now he just lost another kid, so now he's out for vengeance too. Then Gale and Kirby show up, so all of them gather up together, and Gale found out this little secret like warehouse, this like this massive shrine dedicated to all not only the previous Ghostface killers, but all like the evidence and the evidence and certain weapons and other iconographies that we've seen. If you've seen all the Scream films, you'll recognize immediately each one. Like the TV that crushed Stu's face, that's there. Earlier in the film of that first movie, you see like you see Drew Barrymore's boyfriend tied up in the Letterman's jacket and like the duct tape over the mouth. There's a mannequin with that jacket with the duct tape over the mouth just to symbolize that. There's even a shrine dedicated to Dewey. Spoiler alert here, Dewey died in the previous film, who was a long-standing legacy character himself, and there's a shrine dedicated to him. And this is when you see like the vision of Billy Loomis shows up in the reflective surface towards Sam, who is encouraging her to like, come on, because he's right up there to the glass case of his shrine. Because like, I don't know how you can tell, because the Ghostface killer wardrobe is pretty much all similar, with a similar type of knife. Maybe like there's some slight differences between the knives, but by and large they usually look all the same. And the mask might have some slight differences, like the jawline might be a little elongated than the others or something like that, but they're all pretty much all the same. How can you tell which one's which? They're all the same, but they're all treated like they're all different. But also in each crime scene, there's a Ghostface mask left behind, each one different from the last. Oh, by the way, as right before they the sister's about to go to the police station for questioning, they get attacked by the Ghostface killer, and he literally chases them down the street, and they run inside this bodega, And of course, I'm so glad you get to see this, because like Harley, because this is a city, you have more chances of people try to step in and help. And of course, there's these two bystander guys and a bodega clerk all try to stop this guy, but each one gets taken down by this guy. And it's kind of like, is this particular Ghostface trained by, like, you know, Jackie Chan or something? And he's able to like overpower two guys way bigger, you know, two guys are at least bigger than him, and somehow you, like, you know, able to, well, of course he had a knife, but it's like, knife or not, you know, like you bum rush him, or you know, sit on him or something. I'm just like, wow. It's like, you can grant the fact that they was not prepared for him to have like a knife on him, but it's like, you know, you see two girls screaming like their heads off and a guy wearing like a creepy mask, and it's like, you know, no time to sit there and second guess what might happen. But anyway, there's that. I'm so glad they show that, at least that, hey, there's probably difficulty on both ends. Difficulty for the killer, because it's hard to, like, you know, I won't say it's hard, but I'm saying like you in like a big city where you can easily get caught or easily subdued, and it's hard for the victims because, like, you know, it is a big city. Very rarely you might be in a position where you can get help like that. But I'm glad they included this, so that way, you know, people can, because otherwise people can be wondering like, why don't they run to a store? Why don't they, you know, go there? Because it's a big city. There's many people who could probably step in and help. I'm glad they show this, say like, okay, we did it. You know, you still can feasibly say that a killer might still get away with this, but you'll be hard pressed to, as a director, not to include it if you're making Scream in a big city. Anyway, they end this shrine and you see all this stuff, and I'm surprised. Oh, of course I'm not surprised. You know, Sam's not going to confide into nobody, not even her sister, that she's seen visions of her father, you know, kind of goading her into taking up the knife. And you know, hey, if this person's coming after you, better, you know, arm up, you know, and starts, you know, slitting some throats here, because, you know, that's kind of like it here, because it's like slowly but surely, and if by maybe not the next film, but maybe the film after that, I feel like they're laying the groundwork of us watching a future Ghostface in the making. Possibly. Who knows? They could have gone either direction with this. She could like rebuke it altogether, but the fact that it just seems like they're laying the groundwork before our eyes. Especially after how it ends. It's like, yeah, you gotta keep an eye on things. If therapy doesn't work out, man, that's like, anyway. So now they say like, okay, Carrie's like, look, I'm part of the FBI. I have, you know, the technical know-how to, you know, because now like, oh, because this idiot, I don't want to say idiot, but this know-it-all Mindy wants to, like, you know, try to like tell Kirby about her job. Is like, oh, you know, like trying to trace the call, trying to like get the trace on the new killer who's trying to taunt Tara and Sam. And it's like, oh, and Minnie's like, oh, you mean like you know, you mean like a trace where the killer might hang up, you know, just in the nick of time before you get a solid trace on it? And Kirby like rubbed in her smug ass fucking face like, shut up, girl. We'll come to you. We need more movie advice so we can, you know, get ahead of this stuff, but let me do my thing. I was like, actually our technology is a lot better now. We can actually pick up a trace within half the time that we used to, like 15 seconds. Like, oh yeah, shut up, just shut up. Um, but of course, it does work, but pretty much not in the way they expect it, because they track the signal, but it's across town. It happens to be in the apartment of Gail Weathers, who couldn't come along because she's not part of, like, you know, official police business, and she's part of the press, so they obviously can't bring her along. But you'll think that you should keep her around anyway, because she's still intrinsically a part of this. You need to like make sure you get all your ducks in a row, so that way, you know, nobody gets hurt. Her boyfriend gets killed and she gets attacked, but she survived because Tara and the others show up in the nick of time before she kills. So she's sent to the hospital. Then after that ordeal, they come up with the idea. It's actually like, you know, Danny, who's actually, you know, given Sam good legit advice, the fact that, yeah, don't trust anybody, not even me. You know, keep your head on a swivel. Maybe you should, like, you know, lay out a trap for them, this Ghostface killer, so that way you can get a drop on him for a change. So, they decided to set a trap at this shrine. So they take the train. And it's like everybody's still in costume. Like, is this like a week-long, you know, Halloween celebration or something going on in New York? What's going on? Because like almost every night, people are dressed up like it's still Halloween. And like, I mean, I get it, because this month there's like quite a few Halloween events going on, and each one is during like a different day, like one on 29th, one on 31st, one on 28th, or something like that. Each one's like a different thing, but it's like, it seems like a week, darn near a week long kind of thing, where it's like, you know, it's like everybody's dressed up for something. It's like, Jesus, like I thought it was just one night. But it's like it's New York, so it's like, of course everybody's piling in on this train. And during, like, and this is the part of the trailer, as a matter of fact, I reacted to this trailer on YouTube, which you can check it out, my initial reaction. But in the process, while Ghostface is on the train, of course people think like, oh, it's just a regular guy in costume, but Mindy ends up getting stabbed. She still survived, but, you know, she's taken to the hospital. They end up at the shrine, and of course Detective Bailey, who, you know, was running like a background check on Kirby, assuming she might be the killer. Again, the fact that there's rumors about her being a little unstable and stuff like that. Of course, it turns out to be all made up, because not only Detective Bailey turned out to be the killer, but another plot twist, also, Quinn Bailey, his daughter, is actually, you know, faked her death. She's also a killer, but plot twist on twist, Chad's roommate turns out to be also Bailey's son. What was his name? Crap, what is it? Ethan. And it turns out they're seeking revenge because they're the ones that have been setting up those online, defamatory, stuff on social media against Sam. And it turns out they were related to her boyfriend, who turned out to be, one of the two killers in the previous film, because he was so obsessed with the stab films, and she was responsible of killing him, defending herself, from him killing her. They all lost their freaking minds. So he shoots Kirby morally, not morally wounding, but just wounding her, taking her out for a spell. So Tara helps take out Quinn and Ethan. Even the fact that they use the same method they used to kill Stu with that TV, use that same thing to kill Ethan. It's really funny. But Detective Bailey now is chasing after Sam because they ultimately blame her. So she runs, towards her father's shrine, and you see the vision of him, and he's just constantly goading her into like, no, you take that freaking knife and you slit their freaking throats. And it's like, and just like it's like the devil on her shoulder. It's like little by little, he's like, the more she's feeding into that, the more it seems like she's like reveling in it in a way. It's like almost as much as she's trying to like repel that part of her bloodline, the more like I try to get out, the more it pulls her back in. And she takes up the cloak, the beat up original mask of Billy Loomis, and his iconic knife, and taunts and torments the detective. And it comes out, and you see like just reveling in the stabbing motion, and she's like almost like Psycho movie, like and you just like really get into it, and you see like him just getting stabbed a mess out of, and even the point was like, stabbing him right in the eyeball. So that's all done, and Gail survived, Kirby survived, Chad, Mindy, and of course Tara and Sam, and of course the boyfriend, obviously. But she, takes a moment to look at her father's original Ghostface mask, and she's like, and just like I said, she's like, the more she embraces that part of her heritage, or I won't say heritage, but just the legacy, because this is the whole point of this whole entire the whole theme of franchise is a legacy. And you see like she's trying to push away from it, the more she gets drawn into that part of her legacy. And it's like, I bet you in at least a couple of movies she's gonna embrace that side of her and let that because she's probably suffering like a big psychological break where she's seeing visions of her father, and that part of her is like, feeding off her in a way, and pretty soon she's just gonna like just fully embrace it. Or the more ballsy move would be like, acknowledging that part of her and choosing to erase that side of her. But I like when you keep like getting, because in the previous film you see the vision of Billy Loomis keep popping up in her, like the reflections of a mirror or something like that, and he's like you see that's still Billy Loomis, who's completely a psychopath, and he's encouraging his daughter into going to the family business in a way. And he's like, but I like it in kind of like it here, but I like it better in the last one where he's like when she's like on the ropes and she's literally on death's doorway, and he's just in a way ironically saving the day by encouraging her, his own daughter, like, you trick their knife and you slit their freaking throats. And just like, and she just embraces the ghost face persona. But she leaves that mask behind. And you know, and she's like, the movie ends with her and her sister, you know, walking away. So yeah, I mean, this is a solid film, and it did great at the box office. Honestly, this is like a very good movie. I don't know, maybe because the first movie is incredible. This movie and the last couple of ones was pretty. Well, I don't know about, you know, the one in 2011. I think it still did pretty solid, but this one and the last one did incredibly well. And I think it's because we all remember from the original cast, and now with the franchise and with all these other movies with actors who from time to time, like Hayden Christensen. For a while, people like hated him after the prequels came out and hated his depiction of Anakin Skywalker. But now, after so long, same thing with, like, you know, Robert Pattinson, you know, with the whole Twilight situation. After so long, people like realize, you know, what a great actor, realize what a great actor they are, or the fact that those weren't, you know, they might not have been good. There's some charm to them. Like, there's time to let those things marinate. Like the prequels, more so thanks to the TV shows, the prequels are now a little bit more embraced, and we have a bit of more love for them than we did when they first came out. And I see like the Scream franchise is going to be in that same kind of thing where, you know, certain legacy characters, you know, we got immediate love for them in like the entire franchise and want to see where it goes even further. Where in the past we would have gotten probably sick of it after the third one. But anyway, yeah, highly recommend. This is very, very good. I avoided spoilers to this film at all costs until I was ready to see this. It's probably the one movie I waited this long to see, but I wanted to wait this long because I wanted to review it for this month. But yeah, so definitely next year I'm gonna start, you know, going through 2 through 5 so I can complete the whole Scream franchise review. Anyway, that's it for tonight. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Scream 6. If you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe, share this with your friends, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Marvel Spider-Man 2. And yeah, and then of course I got maybe at least 3 or 4 more movies before I wrap up the Halloween movie month, and I got at least one more Halloween themed type of comic I want to review for this month. So look forward to those, and I'll see you all later. Take care.